Okay, I finally got our license plates. I've been riding around on these motorcycles. We have been rolling dirty. Our paper license plates expired April 12th. And this is May what, 9th? Now, they're insured. I've had insurance on these. But the place I bought these from, H&W Marine in Marshall, Texas, are truly incompetent, inept, careless, thoughtless, unconcerned people. Now, I bought these bikes without keys. They said, well, we've got the keys here. We'll find them for you. So we got the bikes home. And I called, and I called, and I called. And they eventually stopped being concerned with the keys. They're not going to find the keys. So I had to go over to Harley and show them my paperwork that I bought these and order a couple of keys, $60. They didn't offer to pay for them. They didn't offer to make it right, nothing. In the meantime, it's been 90 days since we bought these, maybe a little over, and no registrations. And I've called them and called them and called them, and finally they told me, and this is when my heart started pounding and my blood started boiling, that there was a problem with the titles to these motorcycles. Now, I've traded two in. I won't go too far into detail, but I put thousands of dollars into each bike, several thousand, okay? And I have a very small payment on each bike. And now I've got thousands of dollars of my own money invested in these, and I have a small payment, and they don't have titles for these things. And I don't have license plates and registration. So I've been rolling around on these. These are the plates off our old bikes. I'm telling you this now because I know I could have got in trouble. They're insured, so somehow they're registered. I did carry the paper license plates around with me, but we've been riding around on these with no registration and no proper license plates. I got them yesterday, so obviously they got the title problem straightened out, and then they were blaming it on COVID. Texas has been so far over the COVID for a very long time, so that excuse is out the window. And I called this one last time, prepared to go up the street here to a lawyer and have him write them, start the procedure for either taking these bikes back and returning my money or following through on these titles and giving us our registration. Well, I finally got the registration and the titles are squared away. What an aggravating place that H&W Marine is. Let me tell you how they run. They had a guy quit. They had a manager and 3 salesmen. One of the salesmen quit. A second salesman had a baby and was taking a week off. The third salesman sold us these bikes. The manager and 4th salesman decided now would be a good time to take a freaking vacation. 2 men short, so now he's going to take a vacation and make them 3 men short. So there's one guy running the entire show. That's thoughtless. Anyway, that's the kind of people we're dealing with. We ended up with some very good bikes. We put a lot of miles on them already. We've not nearly, but we have put way more miles on in the 90 days that we've had them than they put in the 17 years that they had them. And probably going to continue to do that as long as, our health holds out. So anyway, got the license plates. The license plates are on. I have 2 motorcycle license plates. If anybody's a license plate collector, let me know. I'll send you one. Well, I'll send you both, but if 2 people want them, I send you one each. There's people that collect license plates and motorcycle license plates especially. So anyway, this is the tour pack. Comes off the back. I'm going to put this on a tripod and show you how easy it goes on. And then We were in Louisiana the other day and I hit a bump so hard I heard metal rattling. I gotta lift this up and see what the heck is broke. It wasn't a bump, it was a freaking hole in the road that went right down to the dirt. So let me get this tour pack on. Let me show you where it goes first. See this here and this one here? There's two there and there's two on this side. And here's how it works. That hook's on one, this hook's on the other. Both sides. All right. All right, there's the beginning. Let me see if I can lower you a little bit. I'll have to shut you off. All right. Basically, you just want to slam it down. All right, one of these, let me take you off of this. Let me get my flashlight. This side has a little lock. See this right here? You know you've got it on hard enough when that plunger comes out and locks on. This one does not have a lock. Or does it? Let me make sure I'm doing this right. Hold on, I gotta go fiddle with this a little bit. All right, both sides have locks, and you gotta just push forward on this lever here. You got to push forward on that really hard to get this little lock to come down. So they both have locks. All right, now I got to jack this up and try to figure out what is flopping around or banging up against something, because I definitely heard metal to metal. And by the time we got out of Louisiana, I was ready to get home. And as long as it was running, I was going to keep on riding. All right, I have checked this bike from stem to stern. And the only thing I can see that might let this thing rattle is the kickstand spring appears to be stretched, which would make sense because when I went around a sharp curve, I kind of laid it over a little further than I usually do, and the kickstand scraped. So the only way this kickstand could have scraped and not my floorboards is if this kickstand had come down a little bit, and that might have been what I heard rattling around. So I'm going to replace that spring. Of course, I don't have the spring, so I'm going to ride it over there and get a new spring. I'll put it on. The way you do it, since it's under pressure, is you take this bolt, this nut off, and you slide the kickstand down out of here, and then you unhook the springs and slide it back up in there. Anyway, now what I'm going to do is an internal clutch adjustment. Here's my, right here is where you loosen it up. And I'm going to loosen it up enough where I can take this off, pull this pin out. That's a split ring right there. That's going to come out. And push that pin out. And then take this out, and I'm going to lube the cable. And I'm going to do an internal clutch adjustment. I've got, I think, 8,000 miles on it now. Yeah, I barely had 6 when I got it. And hers had like 2,000 or 1,900 or 21. Let's see what hers has. Yeah, we put some miles on these bikes. Okay, let me get my hex head. Actually, it's Torx. Torx bits out, and probably 7/16 or 3/8 to loosen that clutch cable up. All right, I got the split ring off the bottom here. I'm gonna push that pin out. I've got the clutch loosened up. Now, okay. Now there is a nylon, there we go, right here. Let me get a pair of pliers. You don't want to scuff this up, so you got to be kind of careful with this. There we go. Come on. Well, that's going to get some oil too. There's a little sleeve in here, right here. Don't lose that sleeve. I'm going to leave it in there. But when I put this all together, I'm going to put some oil on this pin here. But right now what I'm going to do is squirt some oil down this cable. Okay. Let's see what you can see here. Okay, good enough. I don't want to get it everywhere, so I'm going to wrap this around here. Yes, dear? I'm recording. No F-bombs.
You've said it so much, it's not even funny.
Yes, it is.
Good.
It is.
So have you done anything in mine?
Put your license plate on.
And my grips?
I'm going to work on it, hon. I'm only one guy.
What are you doing out there?
Lubricating my clutch, and then I'm going to do an internal clutch adjustment. Okay, I'm going to let that oil seep down in there for a little while, and I'm going to do that a whole bunch of times. All right, I have oiled this enough, I do believe. And I'm fixing to put this all back together. I'm going to squirt a little bit of oil around here, but I don't want to get it everywhere, so. Well, scratch that, not getting it everywhere. All right. Slide her back in here. There we go. Let me get that O-ring back on there. crap. Broke the O-ring. Isn't that something? Yep, not O-ring, snap ring. Broke the little snap ring. Son of a gun. Golly, it's just never ends. But you know what? Since I'm the owner of a hardware store, let me take this back out. Let's see. You look like. Huh. I'm gonna have to open a few of these up. Yes. Yes, I have one. All right, let me go back to, let me put this stuff away and then get back to putting that clutch back together. All right, I'm gonna do an internal clutch adjustment now. I got that snap ring on there. This is called the derby plate. The derby plate has to come off. I have already broke these free just so if I had any trouble or if I snapped one off, I wouldn't have to show you. They got little washers on them. Don't lose the washer. As he drops the wrench. Well, this one has no washer. Huh. And this one has a washer. And that's something, huh? Oh, God, I dropped a screw. When I shut you off, I'll go after it. Of course, it landed as far up underneath the bench as it could possibly go. I broke this thumb and I sort of fixed it myself while I was working. And a couple years later, I had to have surgery on it. And it works better than it did, but it is hard to hold on to stuff with that finger. And this one has no washer, so that's two of these that don't have a washer. Very weird. Okay, this comes off. Ah, I'll tell you what. There is no, okay, there's a little rubber seal right here. Huh. I'm gonna turn you off while I go find that screw I dropped. All right. The hex key is 7/32. The wrench is 11/16. Basically, you want to hold. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. You want to hold that, and you want to back this off, and then you want to turn this in until you feel it touch the clutch. Oh, it was pretty good. That's a pretty good turn. So it's touching right there. And then I'm going to back it off 1/2 of a turn and tighten this nut back up. And that is all there is to an internal clutch adjustment. Got to be careful. This is, you don't want to strip it. All right. All right, I'll put that back together. This is different than my wife's. I thought these were identical engines. Hers is a 05, mine is a 04. And hers has a plastic cover over this. Let me tell you, I I don't know how this thing goes in there and stays. Alright, I'll be back as soon as I get this thing stuck in there. Probably need a new one, but I don't have a new one. Here's a couple of things that concern me. This has been gotten into, obviously, so they must have done an internal clutch adjustment, and I don't know why you would need to do one with just a few thousand miles on it when I got it. And the reason I think that is because a couple of these bolts are missing their washers. And here's another thing. These are, come to find out, according to Harley, these are aftermarket handlebars. These are what they call mini ape hangers. And, you know, they're not terribly comfortable. This is not, I wouldn't have chose them if it was, you know, me doing this. So all this is aftermarket. The cables are aftermarket. And here's what I don't like. This is some Mickey Mouse stuff right here. And the thing is, I took this off just to see why. First of all, they had this cable routed inside here. So when you turned to the right, this thing had a bend in about a 90-degree angle. I mean, you really had to put some muscle on it to turn it right. Well, now it's the other way. Now you'll have to put some muscle on it to turn it left. So I'm going to deal with that, but I don't like the way that's set up. But I don't dislike it enough to make any changes besides running it outside the crash bar instead of inside the crash bar. Because this is all the distance you had to turn right. That's all the slack in the cable you had was between the top of this crash bar and that little Mickey Mouse clamp they added, somebody. So now I'm going to adjust this back out, and I'm already doing it. Anyway, it'll take two hands. See the slack I got there? That's what I got to take out of there. So, and I'll need to get wrenches on that. It's what is it, a 7/16 and a 1/2 inch? Yeah, that's it. All right, so let me get that done and get this clutch adjusted. And then my next project is I'm going to drain, flush, and bleed the front and rear brakes on her bike and my bike. And that should be it for today. I'm going to show you how much play I like. Yeah, I'm going to tighten that up right there. All right, slide that boot back over everything, and we're good to go. On to the next project, which is Blake bleeding. Blake. We're going to bleed the Blakes. Going to bleed the brakes. All right, I'm going to hold off on the brake bleeding until probably tomorrow. I'm going to put my wife's grips on. Now there's two screws that'll hold this on. There's one screw under here. T25 is what they are, and there's one screw right here. So let me get them out. Lefty loosey. Righty tighty. All right, there's one. Now I'm going to go put these somewhere where I won't lose them. Hell, I'll put them in my pocket. No, I'll lose them in my pocket. I mean, I'm that clumsy. So here's the thing. On mine, when I went to change my grips, this side was glued on. I do not know if that's something they do constantly. Oh, good deal, it's not. All right, that's good to know. So I can put these right back together. Let me go retrieve the screws I put safely away. Okay, good to know. All right, let me get this one started. Yeah, that come off real easy. Mine, geez, I was trying to save it because I wasn't sure I was going to like the metal grips, and there was no saving it. All right, let me get her other grip. Looking for an Allen wrench. Be right there. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. I'm coming. All right. Here's the new grip. We back these Allen screws out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to tighten these up. Oh, that's pretty. That's a pretty grip. Where's that other one? Come on, Brad. I think I can get a little bit more tight on that one without breaking it. All right, now the hard side, the throttle side. And I'm going to tell you about the throttle side. There is a brass ferrule in there that if you lose it, and it's tiny and very easy to lose, and it's very hard to get to, so you've got to be careful. I'll show you when I get to it. I'm just letting you know in advance that if you don't see that clip for a few days, it's because I lost that brass ferrule, and I had to, there was too many cuss words to edit out. So let me get my tools out on the other side, move you to the other side, and we'll get to work on that. Okay, I'm not looking forward to this because if it doesn't go easy, it will definitely go difficult. So I got a bunch of, well, 3 T25s to take out. That was loose. Huh. Oh, I forgot something important. There's adjustments in here. You need to back the adjustments off to give yourself enough play. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring you around and let you see these brass ferrules that I'm talking about. And I know the lighting is terrible. See, the thing is, I got the garage door open and it's not terribly bright in this shop. So, all right, do you see the brass ferrules right there and right there? Two of them. Don't lose those. All right, let me shut you off for a minute and see if I can get some more light on this. All right, I'm gonna loosen up these cables. Both of these, the inner and outer nut, the lock nut, are 3/8. All right, I'm not sure how to get you close enough to see this. Let me see if I got something else to put the camera on. All right, that is the best I can do. So what's gonna help is a pair of bent needle nose pliers. You know, they make them like this. And plenty of slack. And what I do is undo the one closest to the motorcycle first. There's a slot. You push this out. And there is one of the little brass fittings. Don't lose it. I'm just going to leave that on there. Slide this new one in. All right. That's what you want. Now the other one's a little bit easier, so let me get that. I told you, if it goes difficult, then it's going to be very, very difficult. But so far, knock on wood, it's going kind of easy. Come on. Oh, and you've got to hold your oh, see, I almost lost it. Got to hold your tongue just right. God, you're annoying. There's nowhere to get you out of the way either. Almost. Come on. God, Lord. Golly, all right. Okay, so now I adjust these. Let's see, can you see what I'm doing down here? No, let me move you back just a skosh. Now I adjust these back out, take the slack out of that. Oh, man. I'm gonna screw these back together. Let me go find my screws. Here's another thing. If you gotta be sure, there we go. You gotta be sure everything's put back together and not in a bind. So let me get my screws. For some reason, this one was loose. All right, now what I want to do is take this slack out. Not a whole lot. I mean, you want a little bit of play in there. That's about all I want right there. Now you can reach under here. You can feel where the throttle opens and closes. To adjust the other one, you want the throttle to open and close all the way. You know what? I think I'm just about perfect. I'm going to lock these down. You want it to snap back. Okay, tighten them up. Roll these back up. All right, tomorrow we flush it, and we're going to flush the brakes. And on top of this, it tells you what brake fluid to use. This is .5, and I'm pretty sure mine is too. So, and I've got .5. So we will see you tomorrow.